Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Fat Sack here. It is the 7th of September, 2019. It's about 6:10 p.m. where I am currently, and I am joined by my buddy, my friend, my pal, ResonantDrifter. How you doing, bud? I am doing fantastic. We are here. Time for Drifter to die, 5 minutes in. Yes, absolutely. We are here to play some Fallout Cypher. We've been doing these Fallout Cypher sessions for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know, something like that. 2 weeks. Yeah, I know how to count. 2 weeks. Thank you. And having a great time. We've been playing sessions with Ghosticus, and then Monday, Daily Eraser joined in, and so it's been. You can't hear Drifter. What? It says it's coming through on my side. Try singing show tunes. Is he not coming in? Oh no, what? Every time I start this damn stream, something breaks. Is he still not coming through? It's not a...
Hello?
Let's see. Let's change that. Talk again.
Hello? I'm lighting up.
Oh, you heard
there
him.
we go.
Aha. Seems like my OBS just really likes to change all of the audio settings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every time I open it up. Like, every time.
Best loud boy. Uh-oh.
Like I said, I am here with ResonantDrifter. We are here to play some Fallout Cypher. We've been doing sessions now for 2 weeks with Ghosticus, and then just this last Monday, Daily Eraser joined in, and now we have Drifter. All of the characters have been solo characters, been running around in the world. It's all happening around the same time and in similar locations, but they each have their own agenda, figuring out their own life and all that kind of stuff, which gives potential for them to cross over and influence each other and all kinds of stuff like that. But it's not the main focus. The main focus is each of these characters, doing what they do, wherever that happens to be. So, Drifter and I have been discussing this character that we're bringing in. We've discussed it so much that both he and I have missed other streams because of it.
Yes.
We are here now to make up for that fact.
Yeah, we both got on yesterday and we're both like, yeah, we're going to stream tonight. And then we started talking about the game and stuff. And next thing we know, it's like midnight.
He's just like, what time is it? Oh,
wait
God. So, yeah, great. Anyways,
so that didn't happen.
Drifter,
Yes.
I know the answer to this, but for everybody who's watching and for people who will be watching later on in the videos, hello, future people.
Hello, future.
Hello. Are you familiar with or have you ever played a game using the Cypher system before?
The last one I played was the only other one really I played that I know of anyway was with you.
Right. Yes. We did a D&D campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5th edition.
Yep.
And I was the DM over on ResonantDrifter's channel on Twitch. And we had our group. And as I was DMing, the rules for 5th edition were starting to really bog me down. I'm a very rules light. I like making things up on the spot, pulling things out of my ass. And D&D, while it allows you that, and I would say that 5th edition is probably the best for that kind of thing, especially compared to some of the previous rule sets in the past, I was still finding parts of the game and the mechanics where I was just like, it would be a lot nicer if we just rolled some dice and just figured it out, as opposed to like looking up rules and books and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep. More even sound. Oh, what do we got? I'm louder. It happens. I'm a loud guy.
Yeah, probably.
I apologize.
Here,
I get excited.
Here, let's fix this. So if Drifter's louder, that means my microphone. Yep, reset again, because it does that every time. Scream and stomp your arms, yes. Boom. There we go. So, like I was saying, we were playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I was DMing it, and basically got to the point where I was like, you know what? It would be a lot easier if I was just making up some stuff. And so I started slowly, sneakily pulling in some mechanics from the Cypher system and dribbling it in there. And inadvertently made it what it was. And it worked for what we needed. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We are currently doing a 5th edition campaign with Dungeons & Dragons over on Drifter's channel, where Drifter is the DM. And that's been a lot of fun. We just did our last session Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Good. Always good. So, okay, so you have like a very, very minor, weird introduction to the Cypher system.
It's very vague, and through your many explanations of the Cypher system, I feel I have a somewhat understanding of it. But yeah, when I came in here and started setting up for this stream, I realized the depth of it. So yeah, very vague, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then your tabletop roleplay experience in general. How experienced are you?
Mainly, largely, it's limited to D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I've played a few. Yeah, I'm just gonna say mainly played D&D.
Okay.
I was gonna say I played a few smaller games here and there, but nothing of significance.
Okay. So just so you know, just so it's like put up there in the front of this, the main thing with the Cypher system is that it's a very narrative focused type of rule set. The stuff that we do, the things that you are able to do are going to be a lot more narrative focused than like gritty mechanics based focus. And so there will be a lot of times where you as a character and you as the player will have a lot more control over what your character can do and how the story revolves around him. But yeah, so just kind of keep that in mind. You're going to have a lot more control in terms of like the storytelling aspects of it for what you're able to do and the kinds of things. And so you can make some bigger decisions than maybe you'd be able to in other systems where things have to be very precise. So things like when you're in combat, you know, you can sort of decide where your character is in terms of relative things like, oh, I want to be next to a thing, or I want to make sure that I have cover and stuff like that, as opposed to I tell you exactly where you are and then we move in like 10, 15-minute increments with little grids and everything like that, like you would be used to with Dungeons & Dragons. So, with that out of the way,
yes,
let's get into what your character does and who he is. Would you, very briefly, start off with like your character's name and the sentence that describes what he does?
His name is Miguel Francisco Garcia. What does he do? He's a hunter.
Okay.
I don't know how much in.
What about what's his like his Cypher system sentence?
Let me tell you. Ghoul Explorer who hunts with great skill.
Perfect. Perfecto. Cool. Ghoul Explorer who hunts with great skill. So, Drifter is playing a ghoul, which is exciting because that doesn't happen a whole lot in the Fallout universe. So that'll be cool. Yeah. So let's just kind of jump right into it with Miguel.
Okay.
And who he is as a person. Can you give us a brief synopsis of like his backstory, where he comes from, what kind of stuff he's dealt with, why he's here, and where he is?
I'll give a very brief synopsis. Not the 5-page thing.
Drifter wrote a 5-page backstory that explains like every intricate detail of like his character's life and where he was, how he became a ghoul, all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic.
So yeah, Miguel Francisco Garcia. He was a hunter. He lived in a small village called El Alambre in Mexico with his wife and child, Maria and Alejandra. In the village, they provided goods in order to live there. It was kind of a service-based. So if you were going to live here, provide a service. His was hunting. You protect the village, take some people out for hunts, making them feel good, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The cartel came a-knocking, Toros cartel, looking for goods, looking for people that they could take. They found this village, and the village with an excess of wealth in their mind, they could take these people and use them, get their services, and it would help them out. And they did just that. Instead of the small village fighting this larger cartel, we gave in up until a point, because we were all in, but we didn't like it one bit. And we fought back. I was singled out as the rebellion leader, if you want to call it that, and they took me, my wife, and kid off, made an example out of us by murdering us, essentially. Somehow I escaped, and...
Not the wife and kid!
Not the wife and kid! Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I became a ghoul.
And now where do you find yourself?
A lot more detail inside of that, but yeah, that's a gist of it. I don't know, where do I find myself?
Okay, so
the thing is, I came back. I was ghoulified for a while. I wandering the radiation storm desert. In a trance for I don't know how long. I awoke one day. A book, there was a tattered book on the ground, ignited my memory, reminding me of my child, my wife, and I became enraged, and now I'm going after the cartel, essentially. That's the idea.
Cool. Yeah, so Miguel has this sort of like tragic backstory as to why he becomes what he is currently when we're starting the game, right? And so his trauma that he deals with, he's figured out ways to deal with that trauma that allows him to also, continue on and do what he does. So what are the ways that he's sort of like started to cope with what happened to him with his family and the village and ghoulification and all that kind of stuff?
I guess one of the biggest ways is he, sees his daughter. She appears to him from time to time. He talks to her. Obviously not real because he knows she's dead, but it's kind of a release for him, feeling all this, and as she appears, and he can kind of feel that again, feel human, feel that love and that emotion, even if it isn't real.
Right.
And that's what he's holding on to. I don't know, the last vestiges of humanity that he has left, which he really doesn't have left.
Right. That makes sense.
It's a lost cause.
Yeah, okay. And so with all of that in mind, can you describe to me, like paint a picture with words, if someone were to see Miguel from like across the street, what would he look like? What would his silhouette like stand out? And like what would be the general personality that you'd see from him if you were a random bystander seeing Miguel across the road?
Well, he's a ghoul, so obviously he's very decayed. Lost a lot of the meat in his cheeks, and still has most of his teeth left. No hair.
Okay.
Lost all that, unfortunately. He wears very plain clothes, has the nice cowboy hat and the bandana. In a normal day, that's what he likes to wear. But very stone-faced. He's not very emotional. He kind of puts on for some people that he meets, if that's required of him to fit in. But yeah, he's kind of like dead inside, so he doesn't really emote very well.
Sure. Okay. And then what kind of equipment does he have on him? Like, what if if you saw him standing there, what kind of stuff would stick out of like what's on his person?
Well, he's a hunter, so he's got a hunting rifle. Unfortunately, the scope was broken on it, so he had to replace it, and he had binoculars. So busted the binoculars in half and had it fastened, the right monocle was fastened onto the top of it as an improvised scope. He carries the other one strapped around his neck so he can quickly take a peek at anything in a distance. He does have that book. He took that book with him, the tattered book that his wife read his daughter. Constant memory. Another thing that he kind of likes to feel and touch from time to time to remember them.
Like his worry stone almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, okay. Definitely.
Is there anything else that would like stand out from like what he has on him, or his general demeanor, or like some sort of specific visual quality?
I mean, nothing really would stand out as not like a physical quality. I mean, he's got his hunter's pack on him because he is a hunter, so he likes to. That's how he don't really carry food on him. He hunts when he wants to have food.
Okay.
He does take that food with him when he can. Doesn't like to leave anything behind. He has a bayonet for his rifle, for close quarters combat and whatever.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That makes sense. So, let's.
He's not a zombie, damn it.
Let's jump into where Miguel is sort of going to be starting off with our story.